Okay.
It is recording.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm here with Matthew today, and we're going to discuss his success story, your success story. So, I'd like to start with asking you, where was your life at before we started working together?
All right. Well, before we started working together, I was employed at a job which I now realize was just not a good fit. And a lot of things were going on in my life. Like I was just moving to a new apartment, my girlfriend, and then the job just didn't end up working out. And I unfortunately lost my job, but I knew that I had already taken on so much more responsibility that I needed to get things on track because like I wasn't gonna let that stop me from advancing to my life and throwing away all the hard work I put before that point to get to where I am now.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you did talk to me about that quite a bit, about how that job was not a good fit for you. So tell me a bit about where you are now. It's a very exciting times for you right now.
Yeah. So it's great. Like I got a degree in aerospace engineering, and the previous job I was at was in the aerospace industry, but it wasn't, like I was saying before, it was not a right fit. And then this opportunity came along to work in the medical device field, working as a product development engineer within that company. And I've always been someone who's been passionate about helping people and to get the chance to work on something that could be used to help someone's life rather than just working on luxury goods that people may or may not even care about. Like
Yeah.
that was the main motivation for me wanting to go after this opportunity.
Awesome. And so why do you think they hired you specifically? I mean, they probably had other candidates that had more
Mhm.
experience than you did, especially in the medical device field. So what do you think are some factors that made them specifically choose you?
Yeah, it's from what the job description and everything was looking for. They're looking for someone, who had experience in a heavily regulated field, whereas it was in aerospace and not in the medical field. It's still heavily regulated. Like the FAA and FDA are both insane when it comes to that kind of thing. So they liked that I already had that kind of experience, but then I think what sold them on me was just the passion I put forth towards them, showing them that, oh, I actually want to like help people. Helping people is my priority, and I feel like in the medical field that has to be like
Hmm.
a main
Yeah.
plus
Yeah.
candidate that they're looking for.
Absolutely. And that's one of the keys that I
Mhm.
work with people on a lot, is to be focused on helping them versus focused on themselves. So
Mhm.
when you can make that shift to focusing on how you really want to help them out, then you
Mhm.
can be a lot more successful. And I think you did that really well. So, awesome. Well, congratulations. I'm really excited
Right.
for you.
Thank you.
So I know that you and your girlfriend had both followed me on YouTube for quite a while. So when we chatted, you kind of already knew me a bit. I didn't know you yet, but what were your hesitations about working with me, if any?
Yeah. Well, I guess the only thing is I had only really like known you through the videos and everything, and everything that you were offering and all the services and just the advice, like sometimes all that whole mentality, like, oh, something could be too good to be true kind of thing, that was really like the only reservation I had.
Mm, yeah.
But after we had like that one-on-one meeting and everything where you discussed everything with me, I could tell you were very frank, very earnest. Like it wasn't a show you were putting up for your videos, like this is how you are in person, one-on-one. And then that's really what sold me on wanting to work alongside you for the
Oh, well,
program.
thank you. Thank you so much. That's really great feedback to get. Thank you. So, excuse me. So after you decided to sign up, excuse me, how was your experience going through the process and working on this?
Yeah, it was definitely something new and that I had never like really done before. Like I had seen your videos and everything on how to go about doing it, but just to actually figure it like out on my own, like I could tell like I needed some direction in there, which I definitely got out of your program. And then just because like I've had experience, you know, in my personal life doing like personal training or something when I thought I had all the answers, but I wasn't getting the results I wanted, knowing that you have a good trainer, you follow the process correctly, you get the results. So I just shifted my mentality into thinking about that in my professional life and attacked the entire coursework with that same kind of mentality.
Yeah, you really did. And so you went through like pretty much the whole program. I know
Mhm.
that you came to our calls and you were prepared and you were talking about all of the information that you learned. What do you think was the main benefit that you got out of our work together?
I feel like it was just the accountability and knowing that, oh, like we had the weekly meetings, but I could still reach out to you,
Hmm.
like if anything would happen. And yes, it most definitely was like useful like as the time went on and we were working together, and then all my results started pouring in. Because I remember like at first, like I'm just putting out the feelers and everything, getting like stepping a little bit into the process, sending things out. Then there was nothing like for like the first week and a half, and all of a sudden before we had our other meeting, it just got slammed with like all these like interview requests, like alumni connections, and I'm like, where did all this come from? This is something I was not used to at all.
Yeah, I remember that. And I remember you had troubles scheduling one person and then another person wanted to talk at the same time. And I was like, that's a good problem to have.
Yes, all
Yeah,
those quality problems,
all
as you
those
like to
quality
call them.
problems. Yeah. Yeah. So that was really awesome to see. And so if you were to review what you've learned so far and write your own success story, how would it go briefly?
Yeah, so I guess my own success story would be that, like, I went through like everything in university. Like, I learned the things I needed to learn, like, to succeed. I just needed to have like more confidence and in myself, and be very open to criticism and training, and find someone that would help guide me along the path I wanted to go. And I feel like that's kind of like what I ended up doing. Like, I just said, you know what? I'm just gonna like leave my ego out there, be very coachable, go with someone that I trust that their system will get me the results I need, go through it all, and just keep a good attitude throughout the whole thing. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, awesome. And something else I noticed about you was you were very decisive right away. You were like, yeah, let's do it. Do you think that in other parts of your life that you've seen that be successful for you, like your decisiveness?
Yes, like as pretty much throughout my entire life, I was the one in my group of friends, like, oh, saying like, oh, let's go do this, let's go do that, because everyone would always want to be doing one thing or another, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not having it. So I
Yeah.
would always be the one like, okay, this is what we're trying to do. We can do this, this, and that. If we do it this way, if we start doing it now, we'll hit everything, and everyone wins.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
You're always kind of
I
putting together a plan in your head and knowing where you were going to end up.
Yeah, and I've just always been comfortable with that because I've just dealt with that, like, my entire life. But then definitely working alongside you, I found how I can apply that in my professional life
Hmm.
and take these skills that apparently, like, I've always had, I just didn't know I had, and then know that I can apply them in this way.
Hmm. Absolutely. So, what do you think were your main learnings from the process, like as far as opportunities and interviews, and like basically what the program goes through? What would be your main learnings from the process?
Yeah, it's more of like I had an idea of the things that needed to be changed, but it was like no like formal feedback really on, yeah, these are definitely the things I should be thinking about things differently. I should go about these other things differently, because I can definitely see the shift in my mindset like over the years, where when I started the job hunt like a few years back to where I am now, it's like, especially in the perspective that you put it on, like, you want to be very selfless, you want to be very giving, showing how you can help them. I can definitely say my thought process when I first started was just the same typical, oh, I did this work, I deserve to be here, you deserve, like, like,
Hmm.
it's not so much about like what they deserved, it was like what I wanted from them, what they should
Yeah,
be giving me.
exactly. And then
And
when you get to focus that on them, then you ultimately get what you want.
yes, and then just flipping that switch, and then being pretty much just my more authentic self, and not feeling like that I am owed anything, like your checklist
Hmm.
on what to expect from an interview and what you shouldn't be expecting at all. It's like
Hmm.
that definitely helped put things like in perspective, just like, you want to connect with a company that you can work alongside them, that they can help you grow, you can help them grow. It's like, it's a mutually beneficial relationship. You don't want to be in a job or industry where it's parasitic. They want everything from you and give you nothing in return.
Yeah, for sure. And that's something that you kept your eye on and got a great result from it. So altogether, how long did it take you to get your job since we started to now?
Yeah, so from when we started, that was like towards the beginning of April. And then, yeah, my first day was just this past Monday. But then through the job interviews and everything, like I got confirmation like a couple weeks back. So it was just about a little less than 2 months.
Yeah, so you went through pretty quick, and like you said, it was a bit of a slow start, but then it all started coming together, and yeah. So for your new job, tell me what you love about it so far. I know you've only been there for a week.
Well, I just love how open the communication is for everyone, not just in my department, but across like all the departments. Like HR is very like responsive to like your needs and concerns. Like the manager, it's like gets you the things that you need. It doesn't just lay it off to the wayside, just waiting to get done. And they put a heavy emphasis on training and making sure you're comfortable with the work before moving you forward. Like they take your comfort like of great importance. They invest a lot into their employees. That's what I've been seeing too, especially since they even believe in continuing education for their employees. Like if you want to learn something new that will benefit the company, they'll be glad to foot the bill for that. And that's kind of like company culture, company environment that I wanted to be a part of. Like that's more like personal, like more kind of like a family, like where everyone's trying to help each other out, rather than like you're a drone, you're just a number. They just care about your results. They don't care about who you are as a person. Like they just want you to get your things done and just not do anything else really.
Yeah, absolutely. That's amazing. So yeah, I'm really excited for you in your new position and what you're going to be able to accomplish. And then I just have one last question. What advice would you give to someone who is in your position, where they're at right now in the job hunt, or in a job that they don't love? What advice would you give them to move forward to really get to where you are now?
Yeah, I would say it's the biggest change is because I realized working alongside you is not that I lacked the knowledge to change the things I wanted to do. It was just like my attitude and my way of thinking of things is what needed to be changed. And once I made that decision to, okay, stop seeing the negative side of things if they weren't going to be useful to me and start seeing them in a positive light, that's when everything became like I was just more receptive to everything, and then I was getting the results I wanted. Like I had lost my job even though I had just gotten this apartment and everything, but then I'm thinking of it like, oh, it gave me the opportunity to get my own space and live with my girlfriend and have a stepping stone in the right direction of the lifestyle I want to live. So despite the issues with that, it got me to where I am now.
Absolutely. And one important thing that I haven't talked about yet is somebody else in that situation who had just lost their job and had this apartment that they had to pay for, had responsibilities, they would potentially freak out. I've seen it a lot. They're like, oh my God, I have no money. So, and I'm not going to have an income. Like, what's going to happen to me? So you approached that differently, didn't you? Like you just mentioned it a bit. And so because of that, I feel like that's why you were able to get your results so quickly. So why did you approach it differently versus going to where most people go, which is, oh my God, I've lost my job. What am I going to do?
Yeah. Like, in all honesty, I don't know if it's the most healthy way to approach it, but I'm like, I don't have time to feel sorry for myself like that. Like I have real obligations. I have real bills. I have real everything that needs to pay. And then everything just got all of a sudden much more real. Like I didn't have time to like wallow in the self-pity. I just had to find a way to fix my thinking and then get straight into doing it. Like
Love it.
I got involved with unemployment, like finding other ways to finance my lifestyle so that I can get the help I needed to actually get to my life back on track to where I needed it to go. Like I just had to keep going at it. Like if I stopped, then I feel like all that negativity was just going to catch up to me and then weigh me down and keep me from going to where I needed to go.
Absolutely. And that's what I really want people to hear when they listen to this is you don't have time to feel sorry for yourself. And you said, I'm not sure if it's the most healthy way to approach it. It absolutely is, because it got you moving and it got you in the right direction and it got you to where you are now. So it absolutely worked well for you. So definitely a healthy way to approach it. And I think other people can take that as well. So
yeah, it's just because, you know, it's might be like you're seeing it as like, oh, like, you know, this, it is a bad thing that happened. Like, yeah, it might be a bad thing, but you don't have to let it define like the rest of your attitude going forward.
yeah,
Like,
exactly. Yeah. And it doesn't mean anything about you. You're no
yeah.
less valuable. It was just, it didn't work out.
Yeah, and then I guess just something else I want to tell, like if anyone else is in that position, like I am relatively young to everything. Like I'm just getting like my feet wet with the whole job hunt, like the job search, everything, like building my own career. Like I know for sure other people watching this, they've probably had more experience than I had. So if with my limited understanding on how like the professional world works, if I manage to figure it out, then I have like no doubt that, especially with Natalie's help, you'll be able to figure it out, no problem.
Thank you so much, Matthew. All right. So I'm going to end that now. Thank you so much for the interview. All right. Bye.